Once upon a time, there was a studio called Raven Software who made good games, some of them exceptional, influential, closely tied to id Software. They used their engines to make just good games. Always introducing something new and interesting, a developer staffed with consummate professionals. People with a deep understanding of FPS design, maybe not the most financially successful, but responsible for some damn fine games. And Hexen. That was, until the dark times. Now they are slaves, relegated to the Call of Duty mines. Their inventiveness and talents, their vision and achievements shall be lifted, nevermore. So what happened? Back when I did a video on a game of theirs, Heretic 2, lost to time and stuck in rights limbo, I wondered this, because I'd never played Singularity, the very last game they ever made that didn't have the name Call of Duty attached to it. I wasn't even aware of this game, or its history, or its troubled development. There was one day in 2009 when Singularity was cancelled. It had been in development for 2 years, but it wasn't anywhere near finished. Activision came knocking and the game wasn't ready. According to Keith Fuller, a lead developer at Raven, who worked on Singularity and a dozen other games you might have heard of, half of the game's maps didn't run on the PS3. Others couldn't fit in the memory of the Xbox 360, and even the PC version couldn't perform. A lot of time and money had been sunk into an ambitious game about time travel, the Soviets winning thanks to magic minerals, and, the story is a bit of a mess in this game, so don't even ask me about it. The game didn't die. Raven took team members from other projects, a recently released X-Men game, the Wolfenstein game they made, and after about 7 months, the game was worked into a releasable state on those previously mentioned platforms. 7 months to fix it up and shove it out the door. We've heard this story before, haven't we, kids? How else could this end but an absolute disaster? Let's start the game and oh, no thank you, that's not gonna work. I have very few pet peeves when it comes to games. Really. But a garbage field of view is one of them.
ETA to target 3 minutes.
Brass must be scared shitless if they're willing to risk an international incident sending us in like this.
And if you recognize that voice, that's Nolan North, who I consider to be the inoffensive voice-acting slurry tubed into comatose gamers. And I'm like, oh, hi, Nathan Drake. Yeah, I've played all the Uncharted games, believe it or not. I don't hate Nolan North at all, but is there a way to have him in less things? I know the dude probably has a family to feed, but since our character is a silent protagonist, mostly, he's got to get us through this. So guess what? Nolan North is a star of the game, or some dude pretended to be a Russian, I don't know. Oh, who is this? Oh, it's Steve Blum. Just shove the tube down my fucking throat, Raven. Just ram it down. So Nolan North is talking to you about mission. The Pentagon is sending you to an old Soviet installation where stuff happened. You know, there's an intro cinematic with an exposition dump. Stalin bad, I mean, obviously. And in the near future, 2010, a spy satellite gets blinded by a radiation surge, and so they have to send a couple guys to look into it. Just these two, yeah. Now that this whole FOV thing is solved, we can play the game. So get this, at the beginning of the game, you're on a chopper and it crashes, I know, right?
Shit! It's an EMP!
Now look, I gotta give this game some credit, because the first thing you see when you get to shore is kind of beautiful. It's really well done. Solid stuff from Raven. Of course, you head inside and there's 8,000 hours of exposition waiting for you there. I've gone through some of it, it's just like, I want to play this game, that's all I want.
Now stand together for Mother Russia.
The most important character in Singularity is the audio log. I call him Loggy. He's everywhere.
The influx of new scientists and technicians to Katorga 12 has dwindled to nothing. Rumor has it that Dr. Borisov might become the new head of Katorga 12, but I doubt Moscow has much confidence in him.
I don't even know why this place has power. What the fuck is happening? I know where I am. Just stop. So just breeze through this stuff and you're into it. And the intro section is actually good. Like, legitimately tense, well executed. I have the FOV hack to not be dog shit, so sometimes you're gonna see this here, but otherwise, you save this guy and then you get sent back from 1955 to 2010, and if you do listen to the audio logs, you might notice something has changed.
The influx of new scientists and technicians to Katorga 12 has increased tenfold since Dr. Demichev went to Moscow. His presentation of our work must have been very successful. Additional facilities are being built, and our research funds continue to grow. And to think, only 4 weeks ago, Dr. Demichev almost died in that fire. Whoever saved him did us all a huge
20 minutes into this game, I already helped the commies win. I mean, we don't get much context for how the rest of the world is affected because we never leave this island. I'll tell you what, the art direction in this game is solid. It's not too brown, everything looks okay, up to that Raven standard. At some point, this game's gonna bone me, I can feel it. There's these time radiation zombies. I'm not sure they have real names, but they're so generic I don't even give a I know there's reasons behind why the pistol is shitty. One, you get weapon upgrades in this game, so all your weapons start out shitty. I loved the 2000s, didn't you? Anyway, you're traveling through this school where they would brainwash children who all seem to die horribly. It's tense, it's moody, it's a little scary, and all you have to defend yourself is this 6-shot shit shooter. And you pretty much need headshots to bring these things down. The game isn't even that jank.
Underground, here on Katorga 12. A base was built on this island to study it. You see, our scientists think that someday they will be able to use E99 to accomplish some pretty amazing things.
There's no regenerating health, which is nice, unless you unlock the perk for it, but that's way, way later. That's like 4 hours away. And in what I consider to be a masterstroke in design, one of those good decisions that Raven made, the same second that I said to myself, I'm sick of this pistol shit, here's the assault rifle. Don't spend any upgrade points on this one either. You get weapon upgrades pretty sparingly in this game for a long time, and you're gonna want to save them.
You take right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Open fire! Reloading. Damn, is it good to see you, Renko.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking roll!
So, linear game, but wait, there are actually areas you can find that are similar to secrets, off the beaten path where you can get E99 tech, which you spend on upgrades. We'll get into that later. It's scattered all over the place. You can also get this, you can jump more than a foot in the air in an FPS game that is, for the most part, of the 2000s. I thought it was a fucking bug when it happened the first time.
Nice shooting. Let's move. Chopper, and it's not one of ours. Get down.
Oh, it's this part. The game gives you a sniper rifle that slows down time, which is pretty essential. We haven't introduced any of the time manipulation shit yet, but the sniper rifle does it. So, like, you change the past so the Soviets won because of Dr. Demichev here, and oh, hello. Hey, now's the time to turn the video off if you don't want spoilers, but honestly, I don't give a flat fuck about the plot of Singularity, because it's pretty clear that the writers chopped off like 75% of it and scattered pieces of it randomly throughout the environment as audio logs. These aren't reel-to-reel audio tapes, they're the rotting pieces of this game's story, which was probably pretty cool.
Name, rank, and serial number. That's all you get from us, Ivan. Check your Geneva Convention handbook.
So Nolan North dies, that was fast. Demichev catches you and you get saved by this girl. I'm not going to use this video to complain about shitty ideas that this era of FPS games had and honestly still have to this day. Unfortunately, in the rush to patch Singularity up to get it shipped, they filled in a lot of holes with stuff that other games did that worked, and so we have a shitty stamina limit. You run for 3 seconds and then you're out of breath. A thing that I can outdo, and I'm a fat fucking YouTube idiot who smokes like 50 cigarettes a day.
Run, Renko. Head straight through the doorway. Just follow the open doors.
So when this girl tells you to run for your life and 3 seconds later you're doing a light jog because someone decided that being fast in video games was a bad idea, and this is far from the only time you do this, get out quick, soldier, or else you're gonna die. Oh yeah, also you can only run for a period of time less than how long you can safely chug Drano. Did you like that immersion you had in this situation? Well, fuck you.
Faster. Turn left. They're right behind you!
And every time I fall for it, every time I'm like, oh, I better get out of here, I start running, and it's like hitting a brick wall. So this girl, her name is Catherine, and she works for Mere 12, who know the truth about how the timeline got messed up. I don't know how.
You must have a lot of questions, but we don't have a lot of time.
They should have put that on the box. She helpfully brought a laptop that tells you everything. Press R to laptop.
We are Mere 12. Our mission is to reveal the truth that's been hidden from the entire world. In the 1950s, a military research base was built on the island of Katorga 12. To this day, the government denies its existence. It is our mission to locate Captain Renko and help him achieve his goal. We are Mere 12. We will reveal the truth.
One of the lead scientists on the Singularity project built a hidden vault. You must find it. Go through there.
She gives you that shit pistol again, which I was kind of mad about, but here's the thing. You can manage your equipped weapons, you get 2 at a time.
Which was the style at the time.
And at these weapon lockers, you can upgrade or equip any weapon you've already found. Before you face a single enemy, the game gives you access to one, so take the assault rifle and the shotgun. The shotgun, which is kind of trash until you give it 1 upgrade and then it's fine.
Which was the style at the time.
Be careful. The radiation unleashed by the Singularity has mutated the people who used to live here. Keep your eyes open for them.
Yup, there they are. I was lucky enough to break the scripting to get a better look at these guys. Yeah, good design, nicely done, typical Raven. You gotta get to the old labs and find the time manipulation device, which, man, that sounds awesome, right? Sometimes I think a lot more interesting stuff got taken out. I mean, you don't even have bullet time. Look at how you put it on. This is just great. Once you actually get this thing, you start to see what the game wants to do. At the press of a button, you can age or de-age things, pieces of the environment, and most importantly, your opponents. And I cannot stress enough how awesome that is. Oh, this guy has a shield? That's cute. You're about to drink from the wrong grail, motherfucker. Aside from that, there's a force blast that seems to replace your melee attack entirely, which is fine. When not in combat, you use it for crushing boxes, uncrushing boxes, moving crush boxes, keeping doors open with boxes, opening doors by uncrushing boxes under them, moving them through tiny spaces by crushing them and then uncrushing them to jump on top of them so you can reach a ladder, and then move in another box. You've traveled back in time to fight some lightly armored guards who get torn apart like tissue paper. You have to save Barisov, this other scientist.
The DMD? How? You saved my life. You're wearing the TMD and an American uniform. Something must have gone terribly wrong.
Okay, you're up to speed. Cool.
Follow me. We're running out of time. Please, age the safe with the TMD.
Okay.
Here, take this. It is a prototype E99 weapon. It can be unstable, but should help tip the odds in our favor.
I mean, I already have a sniper rifle that slows down time. How could I? Oh. You only get to use this thing like a half dozen times in this game, but God, it's good. And look at this, I stopped to look for some E99 tech. He runs off, and not only does Barazov not get killed, he hides behind this door and aggressively doesn't get killed. That TMD also reveals notes on the wall, which will be important to the plot, as they allude to everyone being wrong, and also the fact that this isn't the first time someone's tried this, and I just want to try and explain how these things can show up if history and present are constantly being altered with time jumps. Actually, I don't want to do that at all, so let's not. Singularity is not quite one set piece after another, though you get that impression sometimes. This one here, where you're being rushed by all these things and you have to keep repairing these junction boxes to keep the electric fence going.
Renko, we have to hold them off until Barisov gets the power restored.
The generators are gearing up. Renko, use the TMD to renew the power junctions on the fence. That should buy us some time.
I should have played this game on hard, because this section, first time I played through, a few of them got through, but this time, not one. It's fine.
It works!
Of course it works. I just fixed it. The elevator should almost be there.
Finally! Come on, Renko, let's get to the tower! This way, Renko!
You've undoubtedly figured out the timeline has been altered. Russia rules the world, and Demichev is the chancellor. Here, let me show you what happened to the world after you saved Demichev from the burning building.
Yeah? Did you edit this film yourself, Doc? Did you draw all this concept art that got repurposed into an expositional cutscene? Did you write these newspaper articles that are... I mean, look at that. That's not even Russian gibberish. That's just gibberish. Once you leave his lab, you get to the worst part of the game, which accounted for half of all of my deaths.
Renko, can you hear me? Are you alright?
Let me introduce you to the phase ticks. You know those tiny enemies in games that exist to be hard to hit and to annoy the shit out of you? Well, here they are. They can fuck off back up Biff Tannen's dick hole. I'm sorry, that was bad. This game is a bit easy on normal, but half of all of my deaths happened in this tiny section because of these exploding little bastards and their completely unnecessary inclusion in this game. You use your TMD blast to take care of them easily, right? But there's lots of them, and you have to reload your TMD, so there's always a point where you're absolutely defenseless and they take off more health than getting fucking stabbed. I hate them. You can age their little pods away, but that doesn't stop them from coming in droves anyway. This is the one part of this game that I can say that I hate. Okay, on to something positive. One of those small things that makes a big impact. When you're jumping to get onto a ladder and you can grab the bottom of it, that's it. You don't see it enough. I was excited because the game gave me a railgun, except because it's a game where you upgrade weapons, it's practically useless when you first get it, and the sniper rifle is a better option. You have to wind the thing up, and it just doesn't do the kind of damage that you need it to. It explodes after a couple of seconds, but it's just not as practical as the sniper rifle. Maybe a pro Singularity player can tell me about how it's the best weapon in the game or something, because if you aim it off the reflection of the sun, it one-hits Demichev in his balls, and you can just win the game early.
Too late, the creatures are blind. Alexei needlessly fell victim to them. Had we just silently walked by the beasts, he would still be alive. I'm sorry for failing you, Alexei. For failing us all.
Oh, I know this dance. You gotta stealth by these guys or else they'll wreck you. I'm gonna play this on a harder skill next time, I promise. You get TMD upgrades along the way too, and sometimes you can kind of tell they needed to throw one in there. Same thing with blueprints and new tech. They don't quite belong in this sewer, but they're needed for player progression. It kind of bothers me that the devs needed to crunch to get this thing out. I don't believe in crunch. I think it leads to sloppy work, and it's cruel and psychologically damaging, I guess. You will get another power-up for the TMD that is just great, called Reversion, because it turns your enemies into time mutants that'll attack their friends. Yes, good.
Watch out, Renko. More patrols are headed your way.
Стреляй!
Проверить по углам!
Где помощь? Продолжайте бой! Где помощь? Огонь по вашему усмотрению! Вперед на него!
Fun thing I found out is that I don't exist. How, you might ask, did I come to this conclusion? The Seeker, I turned it around and tried to see myself, which I couldn't. I'm not there. What's-her-name is there. What is her name? Never mind. I have some issues with the way this game is balanced. Your weapons do kind of a lot of damage to most things, and sure, you can only carry 2 of them. It's not going to matter much when you get the autocannon. Yes, that's a minigun. Yes, it's one of the finest I've ever used in a game. I love it. It's perfect. It shreds everything. It is almost hilariously overpowered in this game. It has a secondary fire wind-up thing. It doesn't recoil so hard that it's unusable, it just works. Oh god, it's beautiful. It doesn't leave my inventory till the end of the game. You can buy ammo with E99 at the weapon lockers, so forget about ever running dry on it. The autocannon makes this boss fight into a joke. And the set piece itself is okay, I guess. The bosses in this game are the 2000s thing where they have a glow and weak spot that you have to shoot. They change positions though. On this boss it's kind of boring, but on the previous one this thing comes out of it and moves and relocates the weak spot, and you know what? When you're using a cliche like that and you add a little bit of flavor to it, it's good, it's nice. The hardest part in the second boss battle is the goddamn phase ticks that appear out of nowhere.
Good job, Renko.
I'm sorry, who are you? You have to go get an E99 bomb, which is, you know, a big bomb, and a thing you have to get, and you have to raise this ship out of the ocean to do it, using time manipulation so impressive they couldn't do it in-engine like the rest of it. The ship level where everything is decaying in front of you, it's cool, it's good, it's well done. I'm still owning everything with a minigun. You get a grenade launcher where you can remote control the grenades after you launch them, and that's also cool, it works good. I have to upgrade the damage before it's reliably lethal. Here's the problem, and let me get academic with you kids here. There's something called dominant strategy, where the player gets most rewarded for one action over any other.
You're not using that right.
Oh, fuck you. And if this game had more time to cook, I'm sure they would have made it so owning everything with the minigun wasn't so satisfying. But they didn't, so I upgrade that autocannon all the way and win. I'll tell you what, it is fun.
I regret to inform you that Catherine... Well, I tried to stop her at the dock, but she wouldn't listen to me. She wanted to draw the soldiers' gunfire to make sure you escaped with the E-99 bomb. She was shot just as the ship started sinking. Catherine is dead.
Who? We're getting pretty close to the end here, and the game is fine. Really, it's not bad. It's not great. It has its moments, like traveling through time and dropping a pallet of explosive barrels on some dudes and then owning every single one of them with the Seeker. The only weapon in this game that doesn't get outclassed by the autocannon. It's not like the other weapons are bad. The shotgun, when upgraded, is pretty good. You gotta take the bomb, go back in time to charge it, then go through time again to plant it at the Singularity in the past. Then you come back and Demichev is waiting for you.
Have fun on your trip down memory lane, Captain.
Oh man, I remember you. I haven't seen you since you killed Nolan North like 4 hours ago. This game's only about 6 hours long, but you know, it's still fine. A 6-hour game made by people who know what they're doing is still way better than a 30-hour game made by chucklefucks.
Now, give me the TMD.
Don't, Renko. We're missing something, but we can figure it out. We can still set things right.
Only the victors rewrite the history books. And you lost.
This fucking guy right here, I saved his life, I made all this evil shit he's doing possible, and he's gonna sandbag me now. No, I don't play that.
Only the victors rewrite the history books. That's it! The Singularity is not the problem. You went back in time and saved Demichev from being killed in the burning building. Remember?
Yeah, it was 4 hours ago.
He's what you changed, and he's what you have to change back. You cannot let Demichev live.
It won't work. You've already tried that.
Whoa! What the fuck you doing taking a headshot like that? This pistol sucks!
Don't you remember who else was there, Captain Renko? That other man was you.
He's right, Captain. You are the anomaly.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure that's also Nolan North, and this would probably have some impact if I said anything else during the game and knew what my voice sounded like.
Which means the only way to correct the timeline is for you to stop yourself. You mean kill himself?
I disagree, but we'll get to that later.
Renko, don't listen to him. You can save the world.
Okay, but how do you know how many times this has happened? How do I know? If I go back in time and kill myself, then God damn it, I used up all my 12 Monkeys stuff on that Serious Sam video.
Use the TMD on the Singularity. Travel back in time and kill yourself.
Well, that certainly sounds like an attractive offer. Or you can prove your loyalty to me by killing Borisov. And I will grant you unlimited power.
Nah, I already have a minigun.
My God. He's dead.
Are you sure?
To correct history, you must go back in time and stop yourself from saving Demichev in the burning building.
Oh, okay, I think I know how to play this. Just pop Demichev while he's on my back, right in the ass, and nope. If I just capped him in the brain while he's getting hauled out, no problem, everything's fixed. Nope. Okay, if I have to shoot myself, I can just put one in my leg, it's fine. Walk it off or die in a burning science building. Okay, well, this is a cutscene, so we're back to a shitty FOV, and the titles are in Russian, meaning...
Airspace. Roger that, Red Fleet. Continuing on this vector. ETA to target 3 minutes.
I don't know why they keep making us do this run. It's not like we ever see anything. Military intelligence. What a joke.
Hammer 2-1, maintain present speed and heading. Copy that, Red Fleet.
I'd never get tired of seeing that.
Okay, but wait. Demichev was supposed to die. That's what leads into the start of the fucking game in the first place. You know what? No. Fuck, this is bonkers. I feel bad for the writers, honestly. They probably had something better planned out that would have also annoyed the shit out of me, but at least would have made some kind of sense. There's a post-credits scene too. I don't know who she is, but she's probably important later. So this game isn't even bad. It's on the better side of decent, even pretty good at times. But then like 2/3 of the Raven development teams were laid off and the rest were sent to the Call of Duty mines, and let me tell you, if you can take the disaster that this game was and turn the whole thing around in 10 months to make something as decently fun and playable as Singularity, you deserve better.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it.